The real Kashmir film जो हमारी पहली कहानी होती है ना, this is what that film is. Songs of Paradise, कश्मीर की पहली कहानी.
I'm a musician, shame on me. I had no idea this legend existed.
Being a Kashmiri myself, I grew up listening to her songs, and I think the inspiration behind this story and the script was also her songs.
It had to be someone from Kashmir to sing the songs. I don't think I would have done justice.
What is it that you did sometime, okay, that you were asked to be to behave better or behave like a lady?
Do you really want to know?
Yes. This is what this interview is really about.
I fell in love with a married man.
A biopic about a female artist. I'm there for it. Hi and welcome to Just to Film Me. I'm Rotox, and today, of course, I'm going to be speaking about Songs of Paradise to wonderful artists themselves. Thank you so much for joining me, Saba, Soni ma'am, and Danish. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Songs of Paradise, of course, deals with Raj Begum's life, and I know that you've had to not call her that. So I want to start with that, Danish, with you. What are the challenges in telling a story of someone who was alive and who is a very important part of the fabric of the art of our country?
I mean, it's truly an honor to, first time there's the first musical from Kashmir,
Yeah.
which is based on a legend. And this is one of those untold stories that people don't know about. So I think it's absolutely an honor to be able to tell this story. Being a Kashmiri myself, I have grew up listening to her songs, and I think the inspiration behind this story and the script was also her songs.
Her songs. So
Yes,
you were a fan.
her songs, yeah,
How
they're absolutely beautiful and stunning, and it can inspire anybody to write a film.
And it helped that you went to UCLA and learned how to make good films so that you could make this film, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that, but I feel like being a Kashmiri, I've seen so many films that come out from Kashmir, and I feel like the real Kashmir film जो हमारी पहली कहानी होती है ना, this is what that film is. Songs of Paradise, कश्मीर की पहली कहानी, which is about the Kashmiri people, culture, music, traditions,
Yeah.
and about a success story, which can inspire so many people to make more films, on Kashmir and the culture and the rich culture and the heritage. So yeah, I'm truly grateful to be, able to make Songs of Paradise, which is an inspiration from Raj Begum.
I shouldn't
Legacy.
be saying this, but thank you for telling the story of a woman artist.
Absolutely.
This is really wonderful. Also, there's something very gentle about the people of Kashmir. So
Yes.
I just feel that you embody that.
Oh,
in
thank you so
spirit.
much. That
thank
means a
you so
lot.
much
Thank
for
you.
talking to me today. You know what truly excited me is the prospect of two of you coming together to make a sort of joint portrait. I looked at it as a relay race where, you're taking a part of her life for the screen, you're taking another part of her life, but ultimately it's the same person. So what was that process like? Like, did you exchange notes? Because how do two artists come together to create one person?
Yes, I think it would have been wonderful to be able to have the luxury of exchanging notes and having all that. But for whatever reason, I was somewhere else shooting, and Saba must be doing something else, and Danish must be doing something else with this film. So we were not able to have the luxury of that. That would have been great. But having said that, I think when you get a script as an actor, you have a blinkered view. You get into it, you sort of zone in onto the character, and I think because it's two different time periods and two different ages, probably it was perfectly legit not to have needed that interaction at that point. And then we of course had the director later on who guided us. Like, I came in later. So
Yes.
Saba was shooting first, she finished, and then I came in. So it was very helpful for me because then he would tell me, then he'd give me these little, hints of what Saba did with her character. And then it was better for me. It was easier for me. I think she had more of the responsibility initially to kind of portray a woman whom none of us actually knew or anything about, really.
How crazy is that? Because,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's so easy to erase, women from history. And this film, does that for me, which is like, it says that we're not going to let anybody be erased, especially when they are the first female artist from a state who actually sang on public radio. And it's so important to me. So, Saba, I couldn't have asked for, this is a bit of a casting coup. Like, who else could look that way a little bit, sing like that? Because you sang your own parts in this film.
No,
You convinced us.
Okay, that wasn't me. That was the singer who convinced you.
Oh man.
Masratun
Yeah.
Nisa.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
It's her debut.
Yeah, so she.
What a fantastic.
Yeah, she's a trained singer.
Fantastic voice, and I think, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, that it had to be someone from Kashmir to sing the songs. I don't think I would have done justice to the music. As much as I loved the tunes and I wanted to sing them, we did try. But the accent, Kashmir, I don't speak Kashmiri. To get that exact accent. I think it was important also that someone who's lived, who was born and brought up there to sing the songs, because Raj Begum is a legend to Kashmiris, and over generations, not just now, So I think there's a gravitas to doing that. There's there's a lot of weight attached to it.
Yeah.
And I already had my character to kind of carry. And I think, in a way, I was relieved, I have to say, because it was a lot.
Responsibility. Yeah.
And she did such a wonderful job of it.
Yeah.
But let's talk of your accent. You're not without the accent in the acting, at least.
Yeah.
How does one actually become someone else? And you have to be so careful, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Like you cannot make it a caricature.
Correct.
How did you do that?
I don't know. I think it's observation.
Yeah.
I think
Local crew around you.
there was a local crew.
We had an accent coach.
I had an idea of what the Kashmiri accent is like, but I had to be guided, and Danish was guiding me throughout with like, okay, you're going a little to
Too
this
much.
region now. You have to come back to this region because they're
Correct.
dialects.
Yeah.
And then in that dialect itself, of course, there'll be the Kashmiri language, and then they'll speak the language, Urdu or Hindi.
Yes.
And then that'll be entirely different from one region to another. So he was like, okay, you're going into that area, come back to this area. And then he'd send me voice notes of, people from the crew and be like, she's from the right area. Listen to her voice once. And then I'd listen to,
How interesting.
yeah, and I'd listen to her talk, she's talking about whatever she's talking about. And that's how I kind of, went about with the accent. But there was, like you said, it's such a fine line of becoming a caricature. And I have to thank Danish for that, for like pulling me back, because my tendency was to go all out, and he'd be like, no, pull back a little bit. You're going too regional. It's too regional. Pull back a little bit. So that was a constant kind of like, and I was full of doubt, to be honest. And I was constantly like, what am I doing, Danish? What am I doing? What is He's like, it'll be fine. So I needed his voice constantly in my ear to be like, you're okay. It's all right. You're fine.
How much did you know about Raj Begum individually? Because I'm sorry, I'm bringing it up, but I'm so happy that this film serves as that reminder. This film will always exist to tell people the story of this woman, and I think it's glorious. But
I hadn't the foggiest. I had no idea. I'm a musician, shame on me. I had no idea this legend existed. And she had this unending repertoire of music. One of the most widely recorded artists in Kashmir. Thousands of songs, of course, a lot of which were lost. I had no clue, and this was an education. This film, doing this film was an education in this incredible life. And thank you, Danish, for bringing this story.
Thank you.
Soni ma'am, for you?
Actually, no, same here. I had no idea. I mean, when I started getting into the story and he sort of sent me a lot of snippets and this and that, I'm like, oh my God, how come we didn't know about this? And the contemporaries in India, in the rest of the country were, Lata Mangeshkar, and they were
Celebrating
starting to
other
come up
musicians.
and becoming very successful. And here was a singer coming out of Kashmir who, at that time, must have been well known, but after a couple of generations was just lost to our country. And even though she was a Padma Shri awardee and everything, so I'm so happy that we are getting a chance to tell this story and put it out on this platform, Amazon Prime. It is actually a wonderful thing that's happened.
What I love the most is you filled your story with these sort of like, how do I say, I can't call them aggressions, but why not? Like, there is a moment in the film where, your mother, Shiba Chadda, hands you a photograph of a man. I haven't the foggiest who that man might be. Might be someone who she's proposing to marriage for you. All right? I don't know. But you take that photograph and you put it into a bartan where you're cooking, because I love that spirit. And I think that to me is the win of the film, because we always remember well-behaved women never make history. So my sort of concluding question to the both of you, amazing artists, is going to be this. What is it that you did sometime okay, that you were asked to behave better or behave like a lady, and you were convinced that no, I don't need to. Like, where is your intersection with Raj Begum's?
Oh gosh, do you really want to know?
Yes, this is what this interview is really about.
Oh
guys.
dear. Well, I did terrible things.
Lovely. That is lovely.
And I fell in love with a married man, which I was not supposed to do. So that was the biggest, probably the most famous thing I've ever done. When I was in school, I dropped math, which was not allowed.
Oh my
and
God.
I just didn't write my name on, and I'm only doing math all my life. Forget about that. I didn't write my name. I didn't fill it in on the paper. And the principal called me and said, "Why didn't you do it?" I said, "Because you did not provide me with a math teacher for 8 months. I'm not going to waste my time studying for this subject. I will do very well in all my other subjects."
Wow.
And I was proved right.
That is
So I did that. And in
amazing.
school to do that, that's quite big because nobody defies the principal.
That is
Anyway.
amazing.
Soni ji, you're
That
an
is
OG,
wild.
yeah. This is amazing.
Wild.
Saba, what do you do? What are your little, sort of rebellions?
You know, I have to say, my parents do goddamn progressive. I didn't get to rebel much. They did the other thing. They did the reverse thing where they were like, you're allowed everything. So by the time I left their home, I was done. I was like, I'm done rebelling. I'm going to put my head down and do my work. They were really clever about it. So I didn't have to rebel. I had extreme support.
Yeah.
Whether I wanted to be PT Usha one day and something else another day, they were like, "Kadle beta, do whatever you want.
Amazing.
We're with you."
Amazing.
So no rebellion really.
It's so awesome because what you've effectively done, Danish, is really put two of these amazing women together. And otherwise, I don't know, we don't get a chance to randomly sit and where would I be having tea with Soni Razdan, Saba Azad otherwise. So thank you for the opportunity. And thank you for making this film and imagining this film with the both of them. I think that's what I really wanted to come and say to you today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. 29th of August, you're going to watch Songs of Paradise on Amazon Prime. Don't forget to watch it because, hey, this is the way we're going to preserve the histories of our women. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time on Just to Film Me.